Good morning, everyone. Connie Myers here. It's Saturday morning. It's 10 o'clock, so it must be to 70 and beyond. And today I have something to really celebrate. This is actually my 100th episode of doing, well, it was originally called Headed to 70 and now to 70 and beyond. And I am so grateful. I can't believe it's been 2 years since I started this little campaign. And what a wonderful time it has been. In a little bit, I'm going to be doing a little celebrating with a little Prosecco. And I am so excited. So this week I was rereading Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And she was talking about a lot of about anxiety and how to be vulnerable and how to be authentic. And I believe that in these last 2 years, what I have learned in doing this every Saturday is that pretty much what you see is what you get. Who I am is exactly what you see every Saturday, with all my faults and all my flub ups and all my mistakes that I've made along the way and all the technical difficulties. But she talks a lot about being authentic and vulnerable in her book. If you have not read it, this is my second time around of listening to it. I use Audible, so I'm listening to it. But next week, this coming week, I'm going to be 72. And a friend of mine just sent me this picture. I love this. It's live your life and forget your age. Well, I can tell you over the last 2 years, I feel younger now than I felt when I was 50. So why is that? Well, I think it's because I have learned to be okay with who I am. And that's really my lesson for you today. Being authentic, being who you are, and letting the world see it, even if it might be painful, is such an important part of allowing yourself to be human. I think she talks about, there's one of a philosopher, an Austrian-born philosopher. His name is Martin, I think it's Buber, and he talks about the I-it relationship and the I-you relationship. And with all of the anxiety and the things that are going on politically, and us everybody being so divided, a lot of times when we look at other people, we don't really see them. And like if we're ordering food at a restaurant, we may not even look up at the waitress and say hello. That's the I it when we create people, they become objects rather than human beings. And he talks about how much of a disservice it is and how dehumanizing it is for both our soul as well as the person's soul that we're doing this with. And the I-you relationship is when you see that other person as a human being, and you humanize, and it creates an authenticity. And one of the things I loved is he says, humanize the other. And when two people connect on an authentic level, God is the electricity. God is what brings us together. So maybe we need to be thinking about looking at other people in the eye, being honest, being authentic with everything that we're doing. And by far, that is the most important lesson that I have learned over these last 2 years. So many times when I was doing a lot of life coaching, people would be in their 40s or even their 30s, and they would say, well, I'm too old to do that. I said that. I said that when I was probably 22, 23 years old. I wanted to be an interior decorator. And I found out that it was going to take like 3 or 4 years of college plus a 2-year apprenticeship for where I wanted to go. And I told my mom, I'm too old to do that. I had kids, and I'm too old to become an interior decorator. It's something that I've wanted to do all my life. Believe me, if I'm not too old at 72, I sure as hell was not too old at 22. So if you're out there and you're thinking through this pandemic, and maybe you're having to make a life change because you don't have a job, or maybe the company that you were working with has gone under, or maybe it's your business has gone under, and how are you going to pivot out of that? Don't think that you're too old to ever start a new adventure in your life. I had no idea when I started Headed to 70. It was 90 days before I actually turned 70. And I was like, I want to show people how incredibly wonderful it is, and how it doesn't matter how old you are. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Little did I know that at 72, I would be starting out on a brand new adventure. I have lots to celebrate, not just my birthday and the 100th episode, but also my website for the certification went live yesterday. And I'll be talking about that more in the future. But everything in my life, everything that I've done in my life has led up to what I'm doing today. So with the disaster certification, um, I've taken the 7 years I had with my training and FEMA inspecting years, my years with a national, helping to found a national home inspection company and becoming somewhat literate in the inspection process, my online education process, and my speaking and my leadership and my mindset, all of that has come together to create what I believe is one of the most powerful certification courses that you're going to be able to take, because you're going to be able to take this out and give it to your communities and provide insight into how to be prepared for disasters. And if ever there was a year that we need to know that, 2020 has proven to us that we need to be prepared for any type of disaster, man-made or natural. So I want to tie this back to that, because when you are authentic and you are out there sharing with your community things that you believe in, then people will see you. And sometimes that raises fear inside of us. And maybe we don't want to face it. We don't want to go straight forward. We'll find everything else in the book to do. I'm very good at this, finding some reason why I can't do it right now. And that's one of the other lessons I've learned in these last 2 years, is that when you are faced with a decision or something you need to do that you might feel a little uncomfortable about, just do it. And this to 70 and beyond has taught me. I mean, there's been many a Saturday I'm like, oh God, I really don't want to do this. But then I push the button and I go live, and I'm so grateful that I have done that. I've moved forward, whatever the situation is. So what is it that you need to move forward this week? What can you do? And you always start with a vision. So you imagine it's already accomplished. Maybe you have a difficult call you need to make, or maybe you have a difficult meeting you need to have. What do? So the first thing you do is what do you want that outcome to be? Well, my outcome today is celebration. My outcome today is celebrating what's happened this last week, that's celebrating my life and cheering myself on. So what is it that you need to face? And think about what you want the outcome to be. And then create an affirmation or a vision. I'm so happy and grateful that, and yesterday I'm so happy and grateful that my website is up, and it came up in the afternoon. So what is it that you want to do? And then stop and breathe and imagine what it is. What does it feel like? And as Brene Brown says, I wrote it down. She says, stay present, pay attention to what you're feeling and what you're sensing, and then create that affirmation statement that it's already happened, it has happened the way you want it to happen, and then move forward. So for me today, I'm going to stay very present, enjoying the Prosecco with some friends, and I am going to visualize and think about what an incredible 2-year journey this has been for me. And I hope that you all have enjoyed some of the segments that I've done. And then I'm going to move forward, because there's a lot more work for me to do, a lot more joy for me to have, a lot more laughter for me to enjoy, and new relationships. I'm kicking off this coming year, and it's going to be all about new relationships. So I'll be talking about relationships a lot this coming year. Anyway, so stay present, see what you're feeling and around you and inside of you, and then move forward. All right, I am going to sign off. I hope you have a beautiful week, and be vulnerable out there and be authentic. I always tell people I'm a farm girl from Nebraska. What you see is what you get. So I hope that you can do the same. So bless you and have a beautiful week. Bye now.